During my last year of clinical internship in the prisons of Colorado, I had this supervisor that she taught me a lot and she changed my life in a lot of ways, different ways. And one of the ways she changed my life was by teaching me how to become resourceful. Resourceful. And she never sat down with me and told me, hey, you need to be resourceful, and resourcefulness is this or is that. We never had that conversation, only when I gave her feedback about her resourcefulness. But it was more, she was teaching me resourcefulness more with her actions than with her words. One of the things that I did with her as my supervisor is I used to follow her all around where we were working together in the place in the prison that we were working, and I just was absorbing everything that she was doing. And she was my last supervisor that I had in my doctoral program career. After her, I recently graduated, um, and now I am officially a doctor. But she was like the last mentor that I had in my student career. And one of the things that she used to do a lot is that she knew how to get things done without too much complexity. And she knew how to talk her way into what she wanted of life and professionally. And she knew how to lead. Look at this. She knew how to lead by being the most resourceful person in the room. So she was not the most charismatic woman in the world. She was not the most magnetic, extroverted, um, social being in the world as other leaders are. She was just simply the most resourceful person in the room, and that was enough for her to be the leader, always in the room. Hmm. And for me, that was so interesting. Interesting. If you have a question, she always has an answer for that. And if she doesn't know the answer, she's resourceful enough to come up with the answer. And that makes you a lethal individual if you learn to do this. If you learn to be resourceful for now on, you will become supra effective in all the endeavors that you take in life. When we study the five big factors of personality, that is a theory of personality, being conscientious, it is the factor that predicts better how successful you will be. And being conscientious basically means being organized, industrious, like you like to work and you can work effectively, right? And in the end, basically means being resourceful. So during this podcast, I want you to open your heart for this possibility to enter in your life. I know that probably you have a self image that think that you are very disorganized, that you are not very efficient with your resources, that you maybe are not so effective with your resources. And when you are younger, you have this limiting belief stronger than older people. Like people that are 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, they use to perceive themselves more resourceful than 20 years old or 30 years old or adolescents. But for being resourceful, you don't need to reach an age. You don't need to reach a stage in life. This is a decision. This is a habit. This is a lifestyle. This is something that you can establish as a goal and as a system. And remember, I always recommend you go and hear my podcast called Systems Work Better Than Goals. It's a very important episode. So for now on, I want, and it will be my job to convince you today during this podcast. I want you to become resourceful. I want you to achieve more with less. I want you to become the most resourceful player in the room. So, welcome to the Mastermind Podcast Challenge. Season 2 with your host, Dr. Derek Israel. And this Mastermind podcast, you can listen in a couple of different channels. You can listen to this podcast in YouTube, and also you can listen to it in Spotify, Apple Podcast, SoundCloud, and soon I think I already applied to open this channel for this podcast. Let's see if this can work well as I expect. Soon This Mastermind podcast will be also available on Amazon Music. So if you are someone that use that platform, well, you will be able to hear the Mastermind podcast as well there. Okay. Mm. So one little announcement before starting with this podcast of today, and maybe you see me very happy, very cheerful. I feel this way today. I'm very grateful. This weekend it was very integrative for me, a lot of reflection, and I think that I reached good decisions in my life, and I am moving forward in different areas, not only in public victories, but also in private victories. And those are the ones that make you more happy. So, and I just wanted to share that vibe with you. And also because I think that this will be one of the most important podcasts of all the episodes that I have in the Mastermind podcast. It has been something that have changed my life, as I told you in the story at the beginning. And I am pretty excited to share this with you because one of the things that a lot of people write me every day on social media is, hey, Dr. Derek Israel, how can I become more organized? Right? That is a common question. And being resourcefulness is all about or being organized. It's more than that, right? Being organized is just one aspect, but it is definitely a very important aspect of organization. So yeah, this will be very helpful to a lot of you guys. But let me share with you the itinerary for today, for this week, sorry, in the Mastermind podcast every Monday through Friday, 4 a.m. MST. I forgot to upload this image on social media, but I will be doing it today. So if you want to take a screenshot or download that into your socials or to sorry into your phone, you will be able to do it. So okay, Monday today we are talking about resourcefulness, as you know. Tuesday, tomorrow, dude, you need to come tomorrow. Please don't skip this one. This is it. This is the holy guacamole in the spiritual community. It is called Hoponopono. I don't know exactly if I pronounce it good, but hey, this is a Hawaiian word and I don't speak Hawaiian. So I will make my best to pronounce as it is supposed, but let's for now just call it Hoponopono. All right, and this is a very powerful technique to forgive yourself, to heal yourself, and to connect with the power of love. So, dude, you need to come tomorrow. This changed my life and it will change yours. So, Wednesday, so we start Wednesday with a new kind of a mini series that I will be running from now on, from Wednesday forward in this podcast, that is very similar to the archetypes. You know that I have been discussing archetypes in this podcast since I don't know, since 2020 maybe, or 2019. And now we have our own reproduction list in my YouTube channel, Derek Israel. Go there and subscribe. And we have our own reproduction list in which we have already like 10 archetypes. I don't know, maybe like uh we have more than 10 episodes, but like we have like 7 or 8 archetypes so far, but we are going to continue adding to that list. So that is the same ambition that I have with spiritual animals. Okay, so I will be doing like a specific reproduction list of spiritual animals through the years, and we are gonna start with the cheetah. Okay, with the cheetah. So you need to understand every spiritual animal can teach you something, even if it is not like your particular spiritual animal. it can teach you a lot about life. So just listen to every spiritual animal episode because it will change everything for you. You will develop skills that are latent in your mind that are not actualized yet. You will develop it by studying spiritual animals and connecting to them. So I have a recommendation for that. You should listen if you know Spanish. This episode is only on Spanish, but you should listen to an episode that is called Animales Espirituales, okay, in Spanish. Derek Israel, Animales Espirituales. And in that episode will serve as a foundation of the philosophy, of the shamanic philosophy of spiritual animals. Now we are going to start discussing animal by animal. But in that episode, you can learn the whole philosophy behind it. So Thursday, as I promised, I will bring to you, as I did with the four archetypes of the masculine energy that you already know are king, warrior, magician, lover. You can search for that episode also in my YouTube channel, but it's only on Spanish. But now I will bring Cristal Madrid, that she's basically almost a clinical psychology doctor, expert on the human mind, and also my wife. and she will be talking about what she considers the four more important archetypes for the feminine psyche. So if you're a woman, this episode will be essential for you. If you're a man, you will be also benefiting a lot, because remember, and at the end of the day, we are masculine and energy. As you learn, we are masculine and feminine at the same time, as you learn in the podcast of Animus and Anima, right? So you will be benefiting a lot even if you're a man. But specifically for women, this is for you, girls, okay? And lastly, Friday. Oh man, this is one of the most important episodes that I will do in my life. Definitely. It is called The Law of the New, Full Explained. And this is the continuation or the expansion of one video that I did, like, I don't know, 8 months ago, maybe nine months ago. In Spanish, it is called La Ley de lo Nuevo. Search it on my YouTube, La Ley de lo Nuevo. And it's like a 5-minute video that I did about this law, the law of the new, um, the law of regeneration, the law of renovation, recreation, everything making itself new in all levels of existence. And it was only like a 4-minute video. It was more like inspirational and poetic. Go and search it if you know Spanish. But now I will discuss it detailedly, with a lot of details, because that is a lot that you need to apply in your life. You need to actualize that truth in your life. All right. So I will be uploading this uh, schedule in my social media during the day, but now you have the whole program. So before continuing with our episodes, mm, with our episode today, do not get attached. Just a quick tip: do not get attached to any specific format or series of the podcast, of the Mastermind podcast, because you will become disappointed if you become attached. This program is designed to evolve. It is designed to be uh, always in the edge, always in the new, as you will learn in that episode of the law of the new. So I will be implementing different type of series in the podcast. Some will survive. For example, archetypes are a mini series that had survived and it will survive in the future because people love it, and I love it. So, but some of them I will try it couple of months, couple of days, and they will not survive. So try to not become attached to anything that I do in this podcast because I will be changing a lot during our process, and that is just life. That is just life. All right. So, what is what is what are okay? Let's start with this. What are resources? What are resources? So, if I go to Google right now, let's see what Google says right now here about resources. I'm just uh search resource and it says that is an available mean, a natural source of wealth or revenue, or a natural feature or phenomenon that enhances the quality of human life. All right. Other definition it says that is a source that produce benefit. And look at this one. Resource refer to all the materials available in our environment which help us to satisfy our needs and wants. Cool. But I will give you a definition of resource that is for me very, very practical, very easy to recall, to remember, and that also you will be able to apply this definition to resources all across the levels of existence, socially, biologically, psychologically, spiritually, because yeah, we have spiritual resources. For example, faith, altered state of consciousness, and very soon we're going to be discussing about altered state of consciousness. Oh boy, we are getting there, baby. We are getting there. All right. um Compassion, love, visualization, law of attraction, those all are techniques, right? Yoga. But at the same time, they are spiritual resources. But you have psychological resources, you have business resources, marketing resources, sexual resources. You know, all the students that are on my sexual mastery only on Spanish for now. Um, but you can check it in derekisrael.com to see if I already upgraded that course to be on English also. All the students that are on my sexual mastery course, they are equipped with new sexual resources, right? And they become better in bed. And not only in bed, that is just the first part, in life, because bed is just a reflection of your life. What do you do in bed is what you do in life. But anyways, that is another different subject. So this is the definition that I really like about resources. Resources are stored energy. That's it. Stored energy. Energy that is saved or accumulated in a thing. That thing, it is the resource. For example, a very, 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 very easy example to understand. this. What is a dollar? Well, a dollar is money, right? Yeah, an economical mean. Okay, an economical resource, right? Yeah. What do you what is the function of a dollar? What is the functionality? Well, you can say, well, you can take a dollar and you can put fire on him, and you can basically create a fire with a dollar. Well, yeah, it's a paper, so definitely you can do that. You can also take a dollar and you can dry your face of the sweat, right? You can do that with a dollar. Yeah, you can do that. You can take a dollar and you can make it a ball in your hand, and you can throw it like a ball, like a paper ball. Yeah, you can do that with a dollar. But what is exactly the function of a dollar? Look, that you can do all of those things. It's the same as with another piece of paper, of a physical dollar. But a dollar is more than that. A dollar can be exchanged for something else. A dollar have an storage energy, like an intrinsic energy implemented in the structure of a dollar. And this structure is just more than the physical structure. It is an economical structure in this example. The dollar, you can change that dollar, for example, for a Coca-Cola. So you transfer the energy intrinsic in a dollar into a Coca-Cola that you are now enjoying, right? So basically, that is an example of how all resource it is stored energy. Resources are something that you can use with an unique energetic component of it. For example, you have this book, right? You have this book. This book is a resource. It have stored energy in it. If you open the book, you can understand that the people that the author that wrote this book, he transformed energy to be able to write this book. All the energy he transformed by to write this book, it is cemented and materialized in all these sentences that have meaning. You can literally read the sentences and you can subtract meaning that will give you energy, intelligence, knowledge, wisdom to navigate better your life. So every book is a resource because every book have stored energy in it. The same as the dollar, the same as the Bitcoin, the same as a contact that you have in your social network. It is a stored energy. And you can tap into that energy every time that you need, if that resource is available every time. Not all resources are available and it's all the time. For example, orgasms. Orgasms. Orgasms in the male biological structure, they are difficult to have both in a row without a significant amount of time between orgasm A and orgasm B. Because naturally, for men, we have this refractory period in which our biology needs to rest a little bit until we are physically and psychological um, ready to have another orgasm, right? Yeah, that have exceptions. You can do some techniques like the big draw. That is something that I teach in the sexual mastery course. And you can do some things to train your mind, and you can have multiplicity orgasms if you're a man. But for most men, average men that are not practicing sexual kung fu or Taoism or alchemy, they are just having normal sexual intercourse. Well, this will be something that they will experience. Now, every orgasm is a resource. It is a stored energy. Every time that you have an orgasm, you are releasing energy. The only problem is that people release the energy for pleasure instead of for manifestation, as I teach you how to do in my sexual mastery course. Um, but basically, every orgasm is a technology for you to manifest new psychological and physical manifestations in your life. But notice how that specific resource is not available every time. If you just have an orgasm right now, you need to wait a little bit until you're ready for the next one. So resources differ on how available they are in any specific moment in time, but they all in the final analysis are the same: stored energy. Stored energy. So what is to be resourcefulness? Or sorry, what is to have or to display or to develop resourcefulness as a characteristic, as a trait in your life, as a lifestyle, as a psychological reality? Well, it is basically the good use of your resources, right? The good use of all your resources. That is to be resourceful. When you are not using your resources full in the full potency, you are not being resourceful. When you are being strategic, proactive, efficient, effective, organized on how you are working and using and investing your resources, then you are resourceful. And that word is very important: investing your resources, because resources get invested, right? So you can, for example, waste $1 in buying a candy in a gas station, or you can invest that dollar in Chiba, for example, as a crypto coin. And I'm not suggesting to you that you invest in Chiba. That is something that I have in the top of my mind because I was researching a little bit and talking about Chiba with a guy that I just met yesterday. And but yeah, but you can say that you can invest that dollar in Bitcoin, Ether, you know, Dogecoin, whatever. You get the point. You can waste it or you can invest it. Every resource is like that. And the resourceful person is the one that is organized, efficient, and effective, um, investing his resources or her resources. All right. So humans, we tend to learn better by contrast. So let me tell you exactly what is the total opposite of being resourceful and analyze if this apply to your life. This may be a reality in your life. So the opposite of being resourceful, it is to be or to have or to suffer disorganization, inability, incapacity, incompetence, ineffectiveness, and inefficiency. Hmm. Let me repeat it. Are you disorganized? Are you unable? Are you incompetent? Are you ineffective? Are you inefficient? So disorganization basically means that you cannot get things in order, right? Inability is that you don't have or you do not develop the ability or capacity to do something. And that word is very important, develop, because we think that our abilities must be given to us in our birth, and that is not the case. We develop things, my friend. I am right now developing English. I didn't I didn't born like crying, Mom, can I have milk? No. I was born crying and that's it. I then learned Spanish and now I am mastering English. I am developing an ability. I am becoming resourceful here. Do you understand? Ineffectiveness, incompetent. Ineffectiveness basically means like you do stuff, but the stuff do not gets you results. For example, if you are hitting the gym every day for the last 6 months, yeah, you are consistent. You're probably organized, and you have the ability to go there. But if you are not uh, noticing the improvement in your body, maybe you are not doing the exercise effectively. So one thing is to show up, and another thing is to do the thing effectively. Because effectively is all results oriented. You cannot escape results. And you only are effective until the proportion or in proportion of how are you getting your results in life. And inefficiency is that you get stuff done, but in a very slow pace. All right. So I already told you what is the opposite of being resourceful. And now, in the last section of this podcast, let me give you 10 different ways on how you can be more resourceful. All right. If you master these things, for the next 2 years. Remember, put a long horizon on these things. I think that people do not appreciate well enough what they can achieve in a couple of years. They tend to focus in the now, in this week, in this month. And this is a very small window of time. Most of the ideas we are discussing here in the Mastermind Podcast Challenge Season 2, they take time. They take years to master. So be compassionate with yourself. Understand this is a new concept in your life. Maybe you didn't use this word in your life. I don't think that in Spanish we have a word for this. I don't think that we have a word for this in Spanish. So the fact that you are already thinking about being resourceful, you are already ahead of 90% of people. So give you an applause for that, and try to become more compassionate in your journey to master these things. They are not easy to master, but also do not make this an excuse of why are not going to master them, right? So let's go. What is the first strategy that I will advise to you to become more resourceful? Number one, operate first in the lab of your mind. So if you heard one of the Spanish episodes called El Laboratorio de tu Mente, I taught you how Nikola Tesla used to recommend that you need to operate things in your mind first before getting your hands dirty in matter. Because in your mind, you can manipulate all the elements without too much cost. Yeah, you are burning some, you know, mitochondria, and you are firing some neurons. Yeah, you are doing waste. And by waste, I mean, yeah, that you are doing work physically, and every work, physical work, produce waste. Yeah, just you are doing that, but it's less effort and work than if you go and do it in the physical world. So people that are resourceful, they begin in their minds. They organize their environment first in their mind before they can master the environment in the outside world. So you need to become better with your own mental computations. And by cultivating imagination, visualization, reading books, studying difficult subjects, those all are strategies to develop a more imaginative mind, a more creative mind. I was reading a book, I'm still reading it, very, very good book, that is called The Creative Mind. Google it and download it. You can also hear a free audiobook in YouTube. Just put let me see. creative. Let me see real quick. Mine. Ernest Holmes. That is the author, the creative mind, Ernest Holmes. And if you look for that in YouTube, you will uh found the audiobook free. And it's like short. It's like 2 hours. It's a small book. Very powerful, you know. And that helps you to become more creative in your mind. So that is the first strategy. Operate first in your mind to become more resourceful. Use your resources of your mind, the ideas that you have, the concepts, the models, the schemes, the strategies, all of that, that are resources. Those are resources that you can use. Second strategy, know your numbers. You need to know exactly the inventory of resources that you have available. You cannot use a resource that you don't know you have. So, one of the most important things that you should be developing is your capacity to understand all the resources that you have in any certain time in your life, just to be able to tap on them and to use them. Most people, they don't even know all the resources they have. They don't even know the people that they have connections with or how they can use those connections to advance their life purpose. um they don't even know the powerful words that are stored in the books they have in their phones or in the books they have in their shelves. They never open them because, yeah, they kind of know that reading is important, but it's not so important that they actually go and establish a good habit of reading. So they do not know exactly in which books they can found specific resources because they haven't opened and read the book. Once you read a book, you will forever know what that book is about. You may not remember everything about a book. And research showed that we only remember less than 10% of the whole book. And I think that 10% is a lot. I think that we remember less. Like you read a book, and then 5 years after that, someone asks you to do a summary, and you will summary like 3 ideas of the book. You will forget everything else. So, but at least if you read the book, if you watch the movie, if you watch the TV show, or if you watch the documentary, whatever resource, right, you can consume, or if you hear the podcast, that every podcast is a resource, it's a storage energy, right? Stored energy. Well, then you know, hey, I know where can I find this. I know where can I find this idea, right? I know where can I find this information. Because you already open. You already know your numbers. You already know where to look and what you have available in your life. A lot of people, they don't even practice deep thinking. And deep thinking is one of the most powerful techniques that you can implement in your life because basically it's closing your eyes and thinking deep about a subject. And if you start doing this practice, you will develop the habit of looking for intellectual, and mental resources to thrive even in your most difficult problems in life. So most people, they don't even know all the resources they have in their minds, all the emotional resources, the spiritual resources, for example, conviction, how to use fear, how to use surprise, how to use love, how to use intelligence. People are ignorant in this matter. That's why I want you to become resourceful. I want you to explore your internal resources every time in every situation. You go and you do your own inventory. One of the things that I learned in the army when I was in the ROTC in Fort Knox, in a base on Kentucky. Every time that we were online, right, in a squad on formation, before we headed to the mission, the training, I was not doing real missions, right? Just the training. When we were heading to the missions, every time we need to take notice and do a check on our inventory. And we need to be able to understand if we had all the objects in the specific place, like the notebook in this pocket, the pen in this other pocket, um, the medical stuff in this other pocket, right? Everything had an order. And by knowing our numbers, knowing our inventory, we were better prepared for any type of emergency to respond quick. But if you don't know exactly what you can count with, how the hell are you going to respond quick to any given situation or any problem? Third strategy, prioritize efficiency. Prioritize efficiency. A lot of people, very smart people that I know in my life, they don't prioritize efficiency. They only like effectiveness, and I understand that. But for me, effectiveness a lot, it lacks substance. Like if you get results, have you already discussed what is effectiveness, right? The ability to get results. But if you get those results in a very slow pace, that for me is not desirable. The best case scenario of any action in my mind, it is the one that is effective and at the same time it is as efficient. You produce the result and you do it quick. That doesn't mean that you will jump uh, essential steps or that you will shortcut your way. No, that means by being efficient means that you develop systems and processes that make you better and quicker in whatever you are doing. So you need to prioritize that. That needs to become a goal for you to be efficient in life. And I need you to start thinking how efficient this is for my life, or how efficient I am in this certain area of my life. So ask yourself right now, in what areas are you not efficient? Fourth strategy to become more resourceful, adjust according to feedback. We can call this the iteration process, but basically means that you navigate the terrain of life with a certain strategy. And always reality give you a feedback, give you information back. And your ability to adjust your next move based on that feedback makes you a more effective and efficient agent in life. So many people, one, they don't like to hear feedback or to study the feedback, and two, they are too cynic to implement the feedback, or they are too narcissistic to implement the feedback. Don't be that. If you have a feedback, understand that that is a divine resource for you. Every feedback is a resource, it's a stored energy. You can process that energy and you can make a new output of it, a new behavior, a new way of operating life. The fifth strategy: look for innovative solutions. Look for innovative solutions. Think outside the box. People that is resourceful do not need much to accomplish much. They can build a space rocket only with boxers, panties, and a lipstick. Oh man, that would be so crazy, right? To build a space rocket with boxers, panties, and lipstick. But that is just a funny example, right? And a hypothetical example of what I'm trying to say. People that are resourceful, they build things with very few things. For example, imagine that you are in a boat navigating in the Pacific Ocean, and then a storm comes, and you are knocked out by a wave that was the product of that bad weather, and you get unconscious. And then you wake up and you are in the middle of an island, all alone, without a cell phone. You are lost. You are basically um, you disappeared, right? You are now how do you call that in English? Um, a survivor, let's say. So you are here in the sand, in that beach, and you are like, okay, what is the next thing that you do in that situation? The next thing that you do is you check your pocket, and if you have a bag, you check your bag and you say, all right, what I have here that can help me to survive. And maybe you reach your pocket and you had there, I don't know, maybe you have there a stick, like a metal stick. And so a person that is not resourceful only see a metal stick, right? A person that is resourceful see a hammer, see something that you can cook with, see a weapon, see something that you can point to the sun and make light, like a reflection, a prisma of light that you can use to send a light signals to boats or ships, trying to say, hey, I'm here, please help me, with the light, with the reflection of the light, by looking at the sun, by pointing at the sun with the metal stick. A resourceful person will use that metal stick to use as a bat for baseball. When they are boring, they can throw a rock and then boom, bat with that metal stick. So look how many functionalities a resourceful person make of a stick if they are lost in an island versus a person that is not resourceful. So I want you to make everything that you have in life like that metal stick, that you can give that thing, that resource, different uses according to the problem that you need to solve in the moment. And for that imagination, for that capacity, you need to be creative. And you need to prioritize being creative in your life and being resourceful in your life. It starts by that. It starts by changing your attitude, changing your values, changing your identity in turn of this subject of resourcefulness. Next strategy, look for, no, sorry. Yeah. The next strategy is research like mad. Research like mad. If you understand a research deeply, you will be able to find new uses for that research and to become more resourceful. For example, let's go back to the example of the dollar. What is a dollar? What is the function of the dollar? And what are the different uses that you can make with the dollar? So a person that it is not resourceful, this person will never Google money in their life. They will never study finances. They will never research economy, or economic theory. They will never research investing, stock markets, crypto, NFTs, real estate, forex, and private investing, everything that that industry of investing have to offer. They will never search that. So for these unresourceful people, a dollar is just a mean to interchange value. They only will go with a dollar to a store and buy out milk, right? And that is the whole deal of a dollar. But for a resourceful person, a person that said, what the hell really is a dollar? Oh, what the hell really is money? And start researching, what is it? Why it is for? What are the different uses? What is the historical background of this concept of money? Why it came about? Why it is here? Why it is still here? What is the future of it? Right? This person will go so deep in this matter that it will be able to find different uses for the dollar than the typical person. So this person that is resourceful will notice, oh, so I can invest this dollar. I can invest it in stocks. Oh, and I can also invest it in crypto, in these protocols that I really like. And I can do this, and I can generate interest in it if I save it in a bank. So look all the complexity that give more richness to the concept of a dollar and the usefulness of a dollar for a person that actually made the research versus the person that didn't do anything. So research like mad. Every research that you have, research it. Research it. Study. Become a lifelong student. Become obsessive with learning. Strategy number 7, Build a strong social network. All social networks are resources. Every platform, it is a resource. For example, for me, this is a very important aspect of my business because my business is based most on social media. So every time that I develop a platform, like for example TikTok, that I am developing uh, as a priority now in this stage of my career, TikTok become a resource for me because I can communicate to clients, I can prospect new people, I can market my product and service, I can transform life, I can inspire people by only uploading a video in that platform. But it was because I already built a social network there, an audience, a community, that resource is actually pragmatical. Because in TikTok, this do not apply as the same as other social media, because in TikTok you don't need followers to get views. It's a different algorithms. But for example, in Instagram or in Facebook, if you don't have followers, you can post something, you can do a post. Who is going to see it? Maybe you can use hashtags, but at the end of the day, who is going to see it? So every platform, it is a resource. So the contacts that you have in your phone are resources. You know, the alliances that you have with coworkers are resources. Um, and everything that it is socially network based, it is a resource for you. So every time that you make a contact, that you know someone, understand he's a resource. You can help him or her, they can help you, and that is the perfect reciprocity uh, element of life. Strategy number 8, be organized and develop systems for effective order. So, what I mean to be organized, yeah, you already know what it is. To be able to have the different elements of your life in order. But for me, what is most important about this strategy is the part that says develop systems for effective order. What are the systems of organization? Well, that is something that you need to find for yourself. Not everyone have the same systems, but one that works for me is always have an agenda. I always have an agenda. I always make a, to-do lists during my day, during the morning. What is what is the things that I need to accomplish in that day? Um, you can use reminders. You can use anything that helps you to be more organized. Every methodology that you use, we can call that a system. And more important than to try to be organized is to develop the systems. A lot of people have the goal to become organized, but they don't have the effort or the sacrifice necessary to develop the systems. And that is the most important part, because that is the thing that will continue the habit forward, the lifestyle of organization, of conscientiousness forward. Strategy number 9, develop self-control and self-discipline. Develop self-control and self-discipline. This is one of the most important things that you can pursue in your life. Self-control and self-discipline. This is the foundation of becoming resourceful, because if you are wasting your resources, wasting your money, wasting your energy, your idea, your time Time. Look at that resource. Think about all the energy it is stored in time. All the things that you can transform through time, right? You know, developing self-control means to influence with a high degree of efficacy and effectiveness your own behavior. You can influence. And we say control, but it's not a control. You can never control all that you do because you have unconscious processes and you have desires that you don't are conscious about it, and they can influence your behavior, and they will influence your self-sabotage. And yeah, you will have some of those. But the most important thing is to try to develop that influence to maximize the possibility of a thing to occur. To have the discipline necessary to attack the thing every day, regardless of your motivation to do it. Make this a priority in your life to become more self control, more self discipline. You can use Stoic philosophy, Stoicism. To do this, read the book of Marcus Aurelius Meditations. Marcus Aurelius Meditations. But in general, Stoic philosophy, and we're going to discuss Stoic philosophy in the future. This is the philosophy of self control and self discipline. And lastly, but not less important, become a leader. Become a leader. This is the ultimate manifestation of a resourceful person. A resourceful person will become the one that everyone looks for answers, direction, leadership, orientation, and wisdom. So if you want to become resourceful, try to become a leader because that will demand that you are resourceful. In leadership positions, people will bring problems to you, situation, conflicts that you need to solve. You need to become a solving machine, someone that solves things in existence. And for developing that type of trait, you need to become resourceful. So being resourceful and being a leader, those go hand to hand. If you're a leader and you are not resourceful, you will not be a leader for a long time. Your team will hate you. They will betray you. Who wants to follow someone that cannot organize, that cannot administer, manage effectively a thing, a social organization, a social dynamism? So those are the strategies. Let me repeat them real quick, just for a reminder. First strategy, operate first in the lab of your mind. Know your numbers, the inventory that you have available. Prioritize efficiency. Adjust according to feedback. Look for innovative solutions. Research like mad. Build a strong social network. Be organized and develop systems for effective order. Develop self control and self discipline, and become a leader. All right, there's are my 10 strategies to become a more resourceful person, and make this a priority in your life. For now on, my friend, I want you to be always thinking, how can I make this situation more resourceful for me? How can I become more resourceful? How can I use these things that I already have to uh, produce more things? How can I have? How can I produce more with less? How can I maximize all the resources that I have in my existence? That is the question that I want you to be operating by for now on. So, all right, wrapping off, this is Dr. Derek Israel. Please share this episode with someone that you think that will benefit, or just share it in your social networks. Uh, Remember that you can be a resource for me. Like, I know that this podcast is a resource for you. I know we already have 469 resources that are for free available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, soon Amazon Podcasts, hopefully, and those are resources. But also, you can pay me back by giving me a share, giving me a recommendation, um, giving others the opportunity to tap into this resource if they want. Not everyone will like to tap into the resources that I provide, because I am not. No one can no one is able to serve everyone. Not everyone will value everyone. So some people will not like this, some people will, but at least you can share it. And I will be eternally grateful with you for that. Also, one of the things that I have been applying about resourcefulness in my life, it has been a lot in my business. And as you know, my business is mostly digital. What I do is I experiment with different social networks, and I try to understand how they work. And then I just put the work and I give value, 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 value. I build audiences, I build communities, and then I transform the life of those communities. And then I design a commercial structure that can sustain and fund those communities. I have been doing this for the last 10 years, 5 years in my own personal brand, Derek Israel, that you know. And I basically now I am understanding real world the principles of how you can do this in your life. And for me has been so astonishing the power of TikTok to become the most important platform for my business strategy in 2022. And I think that this will be the case for the next 3 or 4 years. So when I am thinking about becoming resourceful with my social media strategy, I am become for me it is more like, how can I use better and more efficient and more effective TikTok, because it is the more resourceful platform right now. It is the most stored energy in social media right now. Like, with a video you can impact thousands, even millions of lives by free. So what I have done is I developed a system of how I am doing this in my own TikTok, and I will be discussing that system in my new event that will be February 19. All right, it's called Grow Your Business with TikTok. And if you're a business owner, an influencer, or if you are a brand that use social media for, driving sales and sustaining your lifestyle, go to the link that is in the description and click the part where it says grow your business with TikTok, and you will learn and you will read all the information related to that exclusive event. So if you want Dr. Derek Israel to help you becoming more successful in social media, specifically by using the newest platform, the most powerful platform for being resourceful in business and in life, go there and explore. If you want to join the event, for me, will be a pleasure to serve you as well. So see you tomorrow in the next episode. Don't miss tomorrow. Hoponopono. Oh my gocho.